Most of Utah's worst murderers all faced one man in court, Bob Stott.
Now the legendary prosecutor has retired. He talked with our Rod Decker about his career and the bad guys he took down. Rod, has there been another career that really equals Stott's at all?
Well, not that I know of in Utah. 4 decades, a murder case after murder case in court.
She never made it in this morning.
2 search warrants were served this evening.
When he rests in the same dirt as a Grammy rests, then we will rest a little more peacefully.
I think I stand about as much chance of dying in front of a firing squad or in a gas chamber as you do being killed on a plane flight home. Let's hope you don't.
You are everything it means to be a great lawyer and a great prosecutor.
No Utah lawyer has ever prosecuted worse criminals.
Bob started here in 1975.
Bob Stott retired after 44 years.
I've been very fortunate.
Stott began as a defense attorney.
I want to help these poor criminals.
What made you change?
Well, after 3 years of representing these people, I soon learned that that wasn't a realistic opinion. My romantic, idealistic opinion wasn't true.
He sought justice.
Cases like Ted Bundy.
Why'd you do it? My name is Mark Hacking.
Mark Hoffman,
Arthur Bishop, Theodore Robert Bundy.
I began thinking about that way back in Utah.
We were in a very small courtroom, and I ended up sitting on one side, and the person on the defense side who sat right next to me was Ted. He would show up, and he looked like a gang member. His hair was all messed up.
In law school?
He was in a t-shirt, and his sleeves were rolled up. He was mean and didn't want to cooperate. Then the next day, he would come, and now he's in a 3-piece suit. He looked like a businessman. He was ready to help, and he wanted to help his lawyers, and he was kind to the judge, and yes, sir, and no, sir. So I was just amazed how he could not only change his appearance, but his persona.
Before he was executed in Florida, Bundy confessed.
I deserve certainly the most extreme punishment society has.
Few trials have stirred as much emotion as this one.
Bishop's sexual desire for young boys was just a cover-up for his
Arthur Bishop sat surrounded by the people who will decide if he lives or dies.
He was charged with killing 5 little boys.
Even the attorneys in the case did not escape scrutiny.
It was a drag-down battle during the trial. We actually became his lawyers.
Bishop and prosecutor Stott worked together for the death penalty against Bishop's defense team.
One by one, the death verdicts were read.
After he received the death penalty, he was satisfied. He wanted the death penalty. He was glad that he was caught to stop what he was doing.
It's the kind of terror that so often grips other parts of the world.
At 8:15 this morning,
The bomb was wrapped like a package, the sounds of a second explosion.
The Hoffman case was kind of our O.J. Simpson case.
Evidence that may link Hoffman to the bombing.
Everybody had an idea. Everybody had a theory. It was a very difficult case to prove. We probably had much stronger evidence on the forgeries and the documents than we did on the actual murder case.
Hoffman is a dealer in historical documents.
He was so careful. He read books on how to fool the experts.
An unsettling end.
Hoffman murdered Christensen and Sheets to cover up forging the documents he claimed to have found.
But after we went to preliminary hearing, suddenly people realized, hey, this guy isn't true to what we believed he was.
Stott made a plea bargain.
By taking a plea, we were able to have him give an explanation as to all of these forgeries.
What we know right now is that there was some kind of an altercation.
One eastbound just got
the suspect got control of apparently the officer's weapon.
Curtis Allgaier murdered prison guard Steven Anderson and tried to escape in this carjacked automobile.
We believe this to be the guy that was involved in the shooting up at the university.
I'm always amazed that these guys that are so full of hate and are so dangerous, look so horrible with all these tattoos. He was able to get women to write to him in prison.
Bob Stott made a deal to put Allgaier in prison for life.
This is Mark, her husband. I
go by Hacking or on the worst day of my life, it's good to feel some comfort.
Hacking
from the community.
He became a master of deceit himself.
No, I lied.
he had portrayed himself as this young man who was true to his wife, true to his family. He was going to school, and then it turned out all of it was false.
Yes?
Mark Hacking murdered his wife when she found out about his lies. He put her body in a dumpster, and it took months to recover the body from the dump.
He decided he had to kill her, and he didn't think it out in advance.
Stott believes in tough prosecution.
They had victimized the families of these people whom they killed.
They know that I didn't do these things.
Why is the death penalty so important?
Because our children died.
How optimistic are you about your case?
We're prepared to go ahead.
Well, that's who I dealt with, was the families, and saw the sorrow and the heartache.
It's quite an impact if you take a look at those cases.
Bob Stott lived by the rules and brought criminals to justice.
This is the man they chose to prosecute those cases.
I honestly can say we got the right person.
Now, Bob Stott's competitive. He wants to win, but he said he has to be careful that his competitiveness doesn't overcome his judgment. He has to play by the rules. He can't make stuff up. He has to follow the law every step, and he says prosecutors have a duty to try to be fair. Back to the studio.
We're remembering a lot of those cases.
Exactly.
As you outlined them in the story. Did he say if he has any plans for retirement, Rod?
Oh, he does. He got interested in history when he prosecuted Hoffman, and he's going to be a volunteer, do some community volunteering, and volunteer in history.
Well, quite a career. We wish him well in retirement. Thanks, Rod.